Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video I'm going to make a cloisonné enamel ring. It's a very exciting project for me because I haven't made a ring for a very long time. I've learned cloisonné enameling 20 something years ago in an art school in Europe. Let's get to the project. First I cut off a copper strip which is going to be the base of the ring. I'm making this ring in my size which is 6 US, so I cut off the length and I left a little bit more. I'm going to fold up the sides of the ring, so I scored the lines where the material is going to fold up. I have this tool which has a sharp edge and I'm going to cut the material partially with it along the scored lines. These folded up sides are going to give the enamel a frame so the enamel won't get chipped easily. And it looks cool too. When I was done with making these little cuts, I grabbed my steel block and my hammer and started to fold down the sides along the edge of the steel block. Now you can see me working on the other side, and this is a little bit more challenging because the material is going to get deformed. I couldn't do a proper 90-degree fold either, so I stood the piece up on its side and I continued the work that way. Of course, I annealed the copper before and pickled it to clean up the oxides. Actually, this is not as difficult as it looks. The copper is so nice to work with when it's annealed, it's really soft. When I was happy with how the sides looked, I turned it around and I evened out the back. It turned out pretty good, but by the time I finished, the copper hardened up, so I went ahead and annealed it. Annealing is restoring the copper's malleability. In order to do that, we have to heat up the copper to a nice glowing red and cool it off, quench it quickly in cold water. I did it in pickle. When it was nice and clean, I removed it from the pickle and rinsed it with distilled water. You can see here how easily I can fold this copper when it's annealed. I tried it on quickly, the size looked good, so I adjusted the end with a mallet. I left extra material on the ends on purpose because now I can cut them off at the same time so they're gonna fit together better. After I cut the ends off, I filed them and I spent a little bit more time with filing than I usually do because I wanted to make a really nice tight fit for soldering. Now I grabbed my little butane torch and I soldered the two ends together. I'm using a type of solder which can withstand the high temperatures of enameling, and I'm also using flux. I put it in pickle to remove the oxides developed during soldering. Now I grabbed my mandrels and a mallet and I evened out the ring. I also cleaned off the solder from the surface of the ring as much as I could with my needle files. Now the ring was ready to be enameled on. I applied the black counter enamel first. When it was done, I fired it off camera and after that I pickled it. When it was nice and clean, I started to apply the clear enamel on the outside of the ring. When I covered all the outside surface of the ring, I waited the enamel to dry and I fired it off camera. Now I'm texturizing some silver foil because I really want to cover the surface of the ring to make the colors look brighter. I'm applying some glue here to make the foil stick to the surface. The only problem was that I had to hold the piece until the glue dried. It took a while, but I sped up the process with standing by a fan. When the glue was dry, I fired it off camera, so the silver foil got stuck in the melted base coat. I covered it with clear enamel again to be able to attach the cloisonné wires, and also to have a barrier between the colors and the silver. When the enamel was dry, I fired it off camera. The next step was folding the cloisonné wires. You can see that I designed a repeating floral pattern for this ring, which is a really good idea because the end of the design seamlessly connect. I'm using silver wires. These wires are flat wires and they stand on their edges. They create cells which we're going to fill up with enamel, and they're also going to separate the colors. Until you watch me do this, I would like to talk about my enameling course on Patreon. We're making this beautiful Trillium cloisonné enamel piece. It's a beginner-friendly 3-part course and you can follow me step by step. By the end of this course, you're going to learn a lot about this beautiful technique and you're going to end up with a beautiful cloisonné enamel piece. I'm going to leave the link in the description below. I'm using small pliers and a tweezer to fold these delicate wires. When all the design was folded, I put them on the surface of the ring using a tweezer, and I'm also using glue to secure the wires until the next firing. This process took a little bit longer than it usually does because I put some wires in place, I waited the glue to dry, and I turned the ring a little bit and repeated the process until all the wires were in place. I fired it off camera. I was doing this voiceover, I hope you like my hat, and I had to come out because I needed to move my legs and also Lucky wanted to walk, and this guy already met a rattlesnake, fought a Gila monster, caught a baby bird which we rescued, and also ate a lizard. Yeah. I hope you don't mind these little sharings. Let's get back to work. I chose 3 beautiful colors for this ring. I've chosen opalescent white for the flowers, this deep dark green for the leaves, and I'm really into this copper green which I rediscovered when I did my last project. I'm going to use that for the background. I rinsed the colors and now I'm applying them in between the wires. I'm using a small paintbrush, a scraper, and a lots of water. My husband just turned on the generator, so if you hear some background noise, that's that. He's building a deck, so I'm actually really excited. I ended up putting the ring on a trivet so I could turn it around and fill out the size that way. Until you watch me do this, I would like to address a comment I got recently on one of my older videos. The question is why not to show the whole process and why do I fire off camera? I always show at least one firing in the video. All firings look the same, so I don't need to show all of them. If I would make a long dry tutorial on here on YouTube, probably it wouldn't work out well for me. I would like to keep the videos relatively short and interesting, that more people, even those who are not interested in learning enameling, can enjoy it. I have a Patreon course for those who really want to learn, and I'm planning to make more. Actually, I'm editing one right now. I'm also going to make a longer version of this video for my Patreon supporters. It's gonna be up in a couple days, stay tuned. I kept turning around the ring until all the cells were filled. When it was done, I put it aside to dry. Now it's time to take a break and make a tea. I left it to steep, I came back and I fired my piece on 1400 Fahrenheit for 2 minutes. This is how it looks after the first colored layer was fired, and I think that blue is just gorgeous. Enamel always shrinks during firing, so we need to apply more layers. I applied 3 layers and I did the 3rd layer off camera because the process is essentially the same. This whole process of making this ring was really long, it took me 2 days. When I was done with the 3rd layer, I left it to dry and I went outside to enjoy my tea. In this cholla, a couple of cactus wren raised babies already. One of those, Lucky, almost ate. After they were done, curvebills came and remodeled their nest, and there is an egg in it, that's what I'm trying to check. And there it is, look how cute. I came back and I fired the ring. In order to make this ring really pretty, we have to sand the surface to make it nice and smooth. Guys, if you would like to see more enameling videos from me, please check out this playlist. When the outside surface of the ring was smooth, only one step I had to do, and that was firing it because enamel loses its shine during the sanding. I did that and it was done. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider supporting me on Patreon. I also have an online shop, please check it out if you're interested. The links are going to be in the description. You can also show your support by subscribing, liking my videos, sharing them, and also commenting. This is it from me today. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye!